Brian Urlacher, a name synonymous with Chicago Bears greatness, recently made headlines with his candid remarks about the team's future. In a conversation on Johnny Manziel's Glory Days podcast, Urlacher expressed optimism about the Bears' new quarterback Caleb Williams and head coach Ben Johnson. This is particularly noteworthy given Urlacher's previous skepticism towards the team's direction. Urlacher's endorsement of Caleb Williams is significant. He believes that with the right environment, Williams could have been a standout rookie, possibly even earning Rookie of the Year honors. Urlacher emphasized the importance of coaching, noting that under the guidance of someone like Sean Payton, Williams might have outperformed other rookies like Bo Nix. This perspective underscores the challenges Williams faced during his initial season, including a tumultuous coaching situation and a lackluster offensive line. The Bears' coaching carousel has been a point of contention since the departure of Lovie Smith. In 2012, the team has seen a series of head coaches come and go, including Mark Trestman, John Fox, Matt Nagy, and Matt Eberflus. Eberflus, in particular, was dismissed mid-season in 2024 after a disappointing 14-30 record, marking the first time in franchise history that a head coach was fired during the season. This instability has undoubtedly impacted player development and team performance. Enter Ben Johnson, the Bears' newly appointed head coach as of January 2025. Johnson's track record as the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions is impressive. Under his leadership, the Lions' offense ranked in the top 5 in scoring for 3 consecutive seasons, culminating in a league-leading 564 points in 2024. His offensive acumen and leadership qualities have been lauded by both management and players. Caleb Williams has expressed enthusiasm about working with Johnson, highlighting his intelligence and non-nonsense approach to coaching. This partnership could be the key to unlocking Williams' full potential and steering the Bears towards a more successful era. In other news, the Bears are reportedly exploring options to bolster their running back corps. Bleacher Report has listed Najee Harris of the Los Angeles Chargers as a potential trade candidate. Harris, who signed a one-year $5.5 million deal with the Chargers, could provide the Bears with a reliable and experienced option in the backfield. His consistent performance, including over 1,000 rushing yards in each of his NFL seasons, makes him an attractive prospect. However, acquiring Harris would depend on several factors, including the Chargers' willingness to part with him and the Bears' assessment of their current roster needs. Given head coach Jim Harbaugh's preference for a strong running game, it's uncertain whether the Chargers would entertain trade offers for Harris at this time. BleacherReport.com. As the Bears prepare for the upcoming season, the combination of a promising young quarterback, a seasoned head coach, and potential roster enhancements could signal a turning point for the franchise. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see how these developments unfold on the field. When you think about the Chicago Bears' struggles over the past decade, it really does come back to the lack of consistency and leadership at the head coaching position. Brian Urlacher nailed that point during his appearance on Johnny Manziel's podcast. Since the organization moved on from Lovie Smith, there has been a revolving door of coaches, and with each new hire, the team seemed to slide further away from relevance. Urlacher was blunt about it, pointing out that the instability has hurt the players more than anything else. It is tough for any player, especially young quarterbacks, to develop properly when the coaching staff changes every couple of years. And the Bears' record since Lovie left really reflects that inconsistency. 76 wins and 120 losses over that span is just not going to cut it. That is one of the worst records in the entire league over that time frame. Now with Ben Johnson coming in, there is a sense of hope that maybe this time it will be different. Johnson's offensive mind was on full display during his time with the Detroit Lions. He helped turn Jared Goff's career around and built one of the most exciting offenses in the NFL. That is exactly what the Bears need right now for Caleb Williams. Urlacher was clear about that. He likes Johnson's fit in Chicago and believes he is the right person to get the best out of Williams. Coming from someone like Urlacher, who does not sugarcoat his opinions, that endorsement carries some weight. He is not one to hype someone up just for the sake of being positive. When he was critical of Justin Fields, a lot of fans did not like it, but in hindsight, Urlacher's assessment of Fields' limitations as a passer proved to be pretty accurate. Speaking of Fields, Urlacher brought up how early he could tell things were going south with certain coaches. He referenced how quickly he and Lance Briggs realized that Mark Trestman was not the right guy. According to Urlacher, Briggs knew after the very first team meeting with Trestman that things were going to unravel. That kind of gut feeling comes from experience. Players know when a head coach has command of the room and when he doesn't. Urlacher saw it firsthand, going from the leadership of Lovie Smith to the confusion under Trestman. The contrast was night and day. Lovie was a leader, Trestman not so much. When you look at the Bears' history post-Lovie, it really does read like a cautionary tale. For how not to handle head coaching hires, Mark Trestman was gone after just 2 seasons. John Fox lasted 3 years and never really had the support of the front office. Matt Nagy started strong with a 12-and-4 season but quickly fell off, especially when defenses figured out his offense. Then there was Matt Eberflus, who honestly might go down as one of the worst head coaches the franchise has ever had. And that is saying something when you consider the full history of the Bears. That brings us back to Ben Johnson. He represents a new philosophy, a pivot towards offensive innovation. And if you are going to invest in a #1 overall pick like Caleb Williams, you better give him a coach who can build an offense around his strengths. That is what Johnson did in Detroit, and that is what Bears fans are hoping he can replicate in Chicago. Urlacher seems to believe in the hire, and that is a good sign. But like Urlacher said at the end of the day, none of the optimism matters if they cannot prove it on the field. On the topic of Caleb Williams, Urlacher's comment stood out for another reason. He mentioned that if Williams had been in a better situation last season, he could have been Rookie of the Year. That is high praise, especially considering how Jaden Daniels performed for Washington. Daniels had one of the best rookie seasons for a quarterback in recent memory. And yet Urlacher still believes Caleb had that kind of potential if the circumstances had been different. He even suggested that with someone like Sean Payton coaching him, Caleb might have outperformed Bo Nix. That is the kind of belief that gives fans hope, especially knowing that Urlacher is not one to dish out compliments lightly. But the conversation was not just about the quarterback or the coach. Urlacher touched on the broader culture issues within the Bears organization over the past decade. Consistency has been lacking not just with head coaches but with the entire coaching infrastructure, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, play callers. There has been constant turnover. Urlacher believes that is one of the biggest reasons why the team has failed to develop players effectively. Having a young quarterback is one thing, but without a stable system and clear leadership, it is almost impossible to maximize that talent. That is why the Ben Johnson hire feels so pivotal. Johnson has a reputation for being detail-oriented, creative, and most importantly, a leader who can command a room. That is something the Bears have sorely missed. Urlacher mentioned that first impressions matter, referencing how he and his teammates could immediately sense when a coach was not the right fit. The hope now is that Johnson's first impression with the players and the front office is a lasting and positive one. Beyond the coaching discussion, there was also talk about the Bears' running back situation. Bleacher Report floated the idea that Najee Harris could be a trade candidate. Now this is pure speculation at this point, but it did raise some eyebrows. Harris signed a 1-year deal with the Los Angeles Chargers this offseason, getting over $6 million guaranteed. Given that investment, it seems unlikely that the Chargers would move him before the season even starts, especially under Jim Harbaugh, who is known for favoring a strong running game. However, if circumstances change, say if Amarian Hampton emerges as a breakout star early in the season, there could be a scenario where Harris becomes available. Harbaugh has never been shy about riding the hot hand in the backfield, and if the Chargers feel they have enough depth with Hampton, Hassan Haskins, and others, maybe they would entertain offers for Harris later in the year. But for now, it seems like a stretch. From the Bears' perspective, adding a back like Harris would make sense. He is a proven workhorse who has posted over 1,000 rushing yards every season of his career. He is not the most explosive runner, but he is reliable between the tackles, can grind out tough yards, and would pair well with someone like DeAndre Swift, who brings more speed and elusiveness to the table. If the Bears could land Harris for a latter-round pick, it would be a smart move to solidify their backfield depth. But again, it feels more like a deadline possibility than something that would happen before Week 1. The bigger takeaway from Urlacher's appearance is that he seems genuinely optimistic about where the Bears are heading. That is not something fans are used to hearing from him. For years, he has been openly critical of the organization's decisions, from personnel moves to coaching hires. But this time, he sounds encouraged. He likes Caleb Williams, he believes in Ben Johnson, and he sees the potential for real change. Of course, all of this will ultimately come down to results. The Bears can make all the right moves on paper, but until they start stacking wins and competing for playoff spots, skepticism will remain. Urlacher knows that better than anyone. He played on teams that won consistently under Lovie Smith, including making it to a Super Bowl. He understands what it takes to build a winner. And while he is hopeful about the new direction, he also knows that Bears fans have been burned before. That is why the upcoming season feels so critical. This is not just about giving Caleb Williams time to develop. It is about showing real progress across the board. Improved defensive execution, better game management, smarter play calling, and a defense that can get key stops when needed. Urlacher's comments suggest that the pieces might finally be coming together. Now it is up to Ben Johnson and his staff to prove that the faith people are putting in them is justified. For the Bears' long-suffering fanbase, the hope is that this time will be different. That this combination of a highly touted quarterback and a respected offensive-minded head coach will finally end the cycle of mediocrity. The road ahead will not be easy. The NFC North is competitive and the Bears will face plenty of challenges. But with Urlacher in their corner giving his stamp of approval, it does feel like there is legitimate reason for optimism. Whether that translates into wins remains to be seen, but for the first time in a long time, the Bears might actually be on the right track. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A compelling rumor is making the rounds in NFL circles, suggesting that the Chicago Bears are poised to make a significant splash in bolstering their defensive line for the 2025 season. Unconfirmed reports indicate that veteran edge rusher JADEVEON CLOWNEY is on the cusp of signing with the Bears, a move that would undoubtedly send ripples through the league. Sources close to the situation, who spoke on condition of anonymity, hint that negotiations between CLOWNEY's camp and the Bears are in advanced stages. While no official announcement has been made, the buzz is growing louder, pointing towards a potential agreement that could see the former #1 overall pick bringing his disruptive presence to Soldier Field. CLOWNEY, known for his relentless motor and ability to impact both the run and pass game, would instantly elevate Chicago's already formidable defense. Imagine the pressure he could generate alongside the existing talent, potentially transforming the Bears' pass rush into one of the most feared units in the NFL. This acquisition, if it comes to fruition, would signal a clear intent from the Bears' front office to solidify their contender status. The possibility of CLOWNEY in Navy and Orange has fans buzzing with anticipation. His experience and proven track record would be invaluable, not just in terms of his on-field production, but also as a mentor to younger players. While it remains a rumor for now, the sheer weight of the whispers suggests that this could be more than just speculation. Bears fans should keep a close eye on official channels, as a major defensive reinforcement might just be on the horizon. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.